Have you ever wondered if love could conquer time itself? What if you were cursed to relive your love story over and over but never reach the happy ending? Today, we're rediving into a tale that will break your heart and make you question the very fabric of fate. This is the story of Ethan and the time curse. Ethan wasn't a time traveler by choice. He was just a regular guy until his 25th birthday, the night of a brilliant full moon. One moment he was blowing out his candles. The next, the world dissolved around him. When his vision cleared, he wasn't in his modern apartment anymore. He was standing on a cobblestone street, the air thick with the smell of coal smoke and horse-drawn carriages clattering by. He was in Victorian London, lost and utterly bewildered. He stumbled through the unfamiliar city. That's when he saw her. Her name was Ilara. She had the same sparkling green eyes and the same warm smile he would come to know across centuries. In that gaslit world, she was a spirited artist, dreaming of a life beyond society's strict rules. They met, they fell in love, a whirlwind romance that felt more real than anything Ethan had ever known. But their love was a secret, a scandal waiting to erupt. Just as they planned to escape together, the full moon rose again. The world dissolved, and Ilara's terrified face was the last thing he saw. He woke up in a flapper-dress-filled Jazzering, 1920s New York. The shock was immense, but the heartbreak was worse. He searched for her, a madman, driven by a memory, and he found her. This time, she was a daring journalist named Lena, her spirit as fiery as the city itself. The connection was instant, a déjà vu that shook them both. They fell in love all over again, dancing in speakeasies and sharing dreams under the city lights. But fate, or the curse, was cruel. Lena's investigative work put her in the crosshairs of a dangerous mob boss on the night of the full moon. As Ethan rushed to warn her, he watched helplessly as a rival gang's shootout erupted. The world faded to black before he could reach her. The next jump threw him into the heart of the 1960s, a world of counterculture and revolution. He was in San Francisco, a city alive with music and protest. He was jaded now, tired of this cosmic cruelty. He tried to avoid her, to spare them both the pain. But how could he? There she was, Luna, a folk singer with a voice that could quiet a riot and a heart full of hope for a better world. He saw her at a peace rally, strumming her guitar, and his resolve crumbled. He was drawn to her like a moth to a flame. Their love blossomed amidst the summer of love, a brief, beautiful moment of peace in his chaotic existence. He thought, maybe this time, it would be different. But the curse had other plans. Luna was offered a chance to take her music on a world tour, a dream she couldn't refuse. The night she was supposed to leave, the night of the full moon, Ethan begged her to stay. She promised to come back for him. As her bus pulled away, the world dissolved, and he was alone once more, her promise echoing in the void. Victorian England, the roaring 20s, the summer of love. Each full moon brought a new era, a new life, and a new version of her. He met her as a scientist in the 1980s. Their work on a groundbreaking project bringing them together before a lab accident tore them apart. He found her as a brave resistance fighter in a war-torn 1940s Paris. Their love a flickering candle in the darkest of nights, extinguished just as hope began to dawn. In every timeline, he found her. In every timeline, he loved her. And in every timeline, he lost her. The curse wasn't just about time travel. It was a lesson in heartbreak. Each jump felt like a knife twisting deeper. He carried the ghosts of every Ilara, Lena, and Luna with him. The pain was unbearable. Yet the thought of not finding her was even worse. He started keeping a journal, documenting every life, every smile, every last goodbye. He studied history, science, anything that might give him a clue. Was there a way to break the cycle? Was there a single timeline where they could finally be together? He began to notice a pattern. The curse always struck at the peak of their happiness, just when they were on the verge of securing their future. It was as if fate itself was designed to keep them apart. Was the curse tied to the moon? To a specific event in his original timeline? Or was it something more profound? A cosmic test of his devotion. After what felt like 100 lifetimes, he found himself in the distant future. The world was a chroman-glass metropolis, with flying cars and technology beyond his wildest dreams, and she was there. Her name was Nova, a brilliant astrophysicist studying temporal anomalies. When Ethan, a man seemingly from the past, appeared in her lab, she wasn't scared. She was intrigued. He told her everything. He showed her his journals, filled with the stories of their past lives. He spoke of Alara the artist, Lena the journalist, Luna the singer. At first, Nova was skeptical, treating it as a fascinating psychological case. But as Ethan described details, feelings, and shared moments that resonated deep within her soul, she started to believe. Together, they pored over his notes, cross-referencing them with historical records and her own advanced theories on space-time. They discovered the origin of the curse. It wasn't random. Centuries ago, one of Ethan's ancestors had made a desperate pact with a powerful, timeless entity to save the life of his true love, a woman who looked exactly like Alara. Lena, Luna, and Nova. He saved her, but the price was that his bloodline would be forever bound to hers in a cycle of love and loss, doomed to meet, but never to remain. The curse wasn't meant to punish them, but to eternally repeat that first, desperate act of love. With this knowledge, they had a choice. Nova's research suggested a possibility, a massive risk. They could attempt to use her technology to create a stable temporal pocket, a small bubble of reality outside the flow of time and the curse's reach. But the procedure was dangerous. It could erase them from existence or trap them in an eternal, empty void. The alternative was to let the next full moon take him, to continue the cycle of pain forever. Standing before the temporal device, with the full moon glowing in the sky through the panoramic window, he looked into her eyes, the same eyes he had fallen for across 1,000 years. Was a lifetime together worth risking everything? Or was their tragic, recurring love story the only one they were ever meant to have? He took her hand, his heart pounding. For the first time, the choice was theirs. And for the first time, he felt a flicker of something more powerful than the curse. Hope. What do you think they chose? Would you risk it all for one chance at a happy ending? This story reminds us that love can be the most powerful force in the universe, even when faced with impossible odds. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey through time. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe for more content, and let me know your thoughts in the comments below. The heart remembers what the world forgets.